Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the Mindset Check podcast. I'm your host, Misha McKittrick. This is a podcast where you believe that as you take time for a mindset check, you have more power than you think you do. And where we also believe that your birthday is exactly what you make of it. I am actually, no joke, recording this podcast episode on my birthday. I had something else planned for today, and this came up inside of me and it felt important to talk about. So I want to drop in with you and just chat about our birthdays and how important it is that our approach to our own birthday comes with something that will help us to feel good inside and to help us have incredible birthdays, no matter what. So before we jump into the episode, I want to share one thing that I have been loving in life currently, and that is I'm listening to the podcast, The Telepathy Tapes. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, there is this podcast where it's like a short podcast. I want to say that there's probably like 10 episodes, and then they will do more seasons, right, as time goes on. But the Telepathy Tapes are all about this incredible discovery that non-speakers, so kids that have, or adults, whatever, across the board, that have autism and the like, right, that are non-speakers, that they actually have these hidden gifts that are telepathic, and they vary somewhat, but there is so much in these podcast episodes that will leave your jaw just on the floor about the world and really open your eyes to there is so much more that we are not seeing that's happening in this world, and becoming more and more awake to it helps us as we function in the world. Literally, I feel like now if I see someone who is non-speaking, I literally look at them like, and it's not like I looked at them like, I don't know how to say, but like, it's not like I looked at them in a way that was not beneficial to their being, to their makeup, right? But now I look at them and I'm like, oh, you over there, you have about 1 billion hidden talents that the people around you might not even recognize because they are a little bit out of what they have been trained to look for. So anyway, I love the reframe that it has given me. So I thought I would share it with you, especially with summer. A lot of times we are driving and doing other things where we can consume just a little bit more, depending on what your summer looks like. So anyway, that's there for you if it's something that sounds intriguing and enlightening. All right, without further ado, let's jump into this episode. Okay, for a moment, I want you to pause and just think about how your birthdays were growing up. Everybody has a different experience, but I would bet that typically you had a parent in your life that wanted to make your birthday special. Especially when we are younger, it feels like the parent comes along and really assists in helping that birthday, be celebrated. You to really be celebrated. And most often, you are given gifts that they think you would appreciate. And of course, there's all kinds of stories, right? That backstories about stuff like this that goes on. But I feel like most often parents really want to figure out what is your favorite thing. Like, what do you want to do for your celebration, for your party, for your cake, for your fill in the blank, right? My mother growing up, she used to make these cakes that were the design or the shape of whatever it was that we were into. So I remember being into Barbie or a princess or something like that. And she took the time to put frosting stars all over this cake in the colors that made this like princess girl come to life. And I remember that for a long time, my mom would be up until 1 or 2 in the morning, painstakingly, or I could say lovingly, making these cakes for us. It was phenomenal, and you just take a look at things and you say, that was a lot of love poured into these little people. Well, what happens as we get older is, I guess there's a little bit less surprise and delight built in. And that can be for a lot of different reasons, right? We are less, I guess it's easier for us to not be as excited around small things, right? And so our parents kind of can lose some of that desire to bring that to life for us, or we get doing our own things, or we start having more opinions about things, and so forth. As we kind of grow up, we kind of quote unquote grow out of our parents really helping us and assisting celebrating our birthdays, which is something that's so phenomenal to me, because sometimes it takes us years, like a very long time, to fully understand that when we grow up, that the responsibility for our birthday celebrations actually shifts, right? We are trained when we're little that it is the people around us that celebrate us and that celebrate our day. And that does not remain. Sometimes we still have, a parent in our life asking us, well, what would you like to do for your birthday? Let's go to dinner. Would you want to go somewhere? Where do you want to go? And giving you options and that type of thing. And that's always a really generous and kind thing for someone else to do in your life, whether that is, a family member, your spouse, whatever that is, a friend. That's a very generous thing. But I think we are trained for that to happen. And when it doesn't, you can feel kind of broken, kind of forgotten, kind of left out in the dust and in the dirt, right? And so I really think that this is something that we need to talk about. That we have to say, like, hey, your birthday is your opportunity. It is your moment to plan it, to build in what you want, and to truly celebrate in whatever way feels authentic and genuine for you. It would be so cool if we could realize when we were growing up that the questions about how do you want to celebrate, that those were questions that were training us to be able to do that on our own. A lot of times we interpret that to somebody's doing that for us. And then the expectation can steal our joy. Isn't it just phenomenal when you sit back and think about it? I think this is something that we should also teach our kids. Right? Like as they're getting older, I think we should teach them and say, like, hey, just so you know, like as your birthday, comes around, like, and you get older, like start to take that responsibility. Know that I will always be here to celebrate with you, but create it for yourself. Don't let anybody else be in charge of your happiness, especially on your birthday. But like in life, that's a great tip, but especially on your birthday. I love the quote from Oprah Winfrey. She says, the more that you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. This applies to life, right? Just like what we were kind of saying, but it also really applies to your birthday. You are the one in the seat that gets to celebrate and look at your life and to look for the good things, right? And to be able to have a good birthday no matter what the people around you do. Okay, so that's going to bring us into my very first tip for you. My tip for celebrating and having an incredible birthday no matter what. So the first tip is really just letting go of expectations of other people, right? It's really up to you to feel good. And if there is an area of your life that feels sticky at that moment, you are not obligated to spend time there. Okay? Like, clear message. If it feels sticky with a family member, you can clearly and lovingly communicate, and you can spend time in a different space. Freedom. You are entitled to freedom on your birthday. I fully believe that. So I think letting go of the expectations of other people and allowing yourself to really Check in with what feels good to you, with what feels expansive to you. Maybe that's something big, and maybe that's just time to yourself. Like, whoever thought of that wild, beautiful idea, right? Okay, so the next tip is speak up and let your desires be known. So many times we sit back and secretly wish, right? Maybe you secretly wish for that surprise party. Maybe you secretly wish that your spouse got the hint of the birthday present that you want, right? So speak up and let it be known. If you don't care what gift you get, then don't say anything. If you want something, buy it for yourself if you need to. Don't let that happiness reside in somebody else's hands. And trust me, I know all about having had really frugal years and your birthday presents actually really counting because you want to get what you actually need. I actually really do understand that. I fully get that. But there are ways for you to handle that and to massage that and to figure that out, whether you are needing to fully say, hey, honey, for my birthday, this is what would mean a lot to me, like for a present or what you're doing or where you want to eat or what you want to spend your time doing. Speak up, let your desires be known, and then allow people to operate however they operate inside of that. Like letting go of whatever they do inside of that, but letting your desires be known. How many people, even on their birthday, when you say, where do you want to go to dinner? My mom is like this. She really is. And bless her soul. She will say well, it's fine wherever everybody wants to go. It's wherever everyone wants to go, and it's sometimes you have to say to those sweet souls, I'm literally asking you, Mom, where do you want to go? And then they get in tune with where they actually want to go. And I think that that's something that we can embody ourselves. And honestly, who really cares if you go to that place by yourself? I remember learning when I was young. I was in college age. I moved in with a girl that lived in Arizona. She was the daughter of a really good friend of mine. And I remember learning that day that she had gone to a movie, and I was like, oh, who did you go to the movie with? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I went by myself. And I was like, what? You went to the movie by yourself? You're such a brave soul. And then I realized, actually, that was such a great example for me. Do what you want to do. It's okay. It is sad if you want to be with someone and you're not, but it's also on you if you want to be with someone and you didn't request the absolute honor of their presence in your life. This morning, I went rollerblading with one of my girlfriends and I said, hey, girlfriend, it is my birthday tomorrow. I would love to start the day skating with you. And I just let her know right out of the gate, it's my birthday. I would love to start it skating with you, because there is literally nothing worse than being with people on your birthday that don't know it's your birthday. I'm going to tell you a little story real quick. Our family was traveling with another family that we love. We've been friends with for years and years and years. And we went to a really cool spot and we hiked. It was literally magical. There were waterfalls over the stretch of maybe 7 miles. I can't remember now, maybe 5 miles, maybe 7 waterfalls or something like that. It was really incredible, breathtaking. And I wasn't sitting in expectation of other people should know that it's my birthday and they don't at all. I was more so even sitting in I don't have expectations at all. It's fine. If people don't remember my birthday, it's okay. They can be, and I don't, I didn't want them to even feel bad. But the truth is when people spent time with you and they figure out that it was your birthday, especially if they're people that are close to you, it rips their heart out. It hurts them. And what happened on this little extravaganza that we were on is that the day actually kind of had a little sour taste. And it was because of some other things that were going on. And then later, when everyone found out that it really was my birthday, they felt terrible, even more bad, right? So I think it is the most honorable thing that you can do is to like let someone know that it's your birthday, like with zero expectations. I'm not telling you because I'm looking for a gift or I want you to like bring fireworks. You know what I mean? Like, no, like just know that it's my birthday so that you can say happy birthday and we can go woohoo together. Like, yay, right? So I think that there's a great gift that we give other people just by letting them know today's my birthday. I want to be with you. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, it's cool. It's cool. Let it be cool that you're letting them know. It's a gift. Okay, so another tip that I have for you is celebrate for a week. That's right, an entire week. Because I feel like when we allow ourselves to say it's my birthday week, then when life impedes and you have a bazillion soccer games or baseball games or whatever that are not about you at all, and you show up to all of those being supportive to your kids, to your family, or wherever you need to be, or work, or whatever, when it actually comes to evaluating how your day was and how your birthday went, it's not like, wah wah, my birthday was actually kind of sucky. No, we're talking about birthday season. Boom. So I think, not to be entitled, but that if life impedes on your birthday or, straight up life is just busy. A lot of times we can't just take days off because it's our birthday. And sometimes we can, and that's great. But just know that you have more opportunities to really celebrate and to call this my birthday celebration or, these string of events. I'm going to have lunch with friends or I'm going to take some time to myself or we're going to go to dinner as a family. That can stretch out over a week because, especially if your birthday was like we traveled the whole day, right? Like, take a deep breath. No one ever said you actually had to celebrate your birthday on your actual birthday. It's cool. All right. I love this quote. It says, a birthday isn't a demand for attention. It's a sacred permission slip to love your life out loud. I love that so much because, gosh, how many times do we sit in expectation? And this whole episode really is trading expectation for appreciation and allowing that to reign and be present in your heart and in your life. All right, so that brings us to our next tip. The next tip is to truly treat yourself, right? That permission slip to live your life, to love your life out loud, completely and fully. Like today, one of the things I did is I went by myself, okay, guys, by myself to get my favorite drink, my favorite food, and to run an errand by myself. And then guess what? I made a stop and I wrote some pages in my journal. It felt amazing. When I wrote in my journal, I was checking into really cool things that had been happening in my life. And that just allowed my heart to grow and get big. So allow yourself to do things that you love, even by yourself. Like that's really an okay thing, right? Just like the friend that taught me you can go to the movie by yourself. You get to create your life. You get to do the things that feel fun to you, and you get to either invite people or you get to be by yourself or whatever it is, right? And whatever you do on your birthday, okay? This is like a P.S. Let's be happy. Do not keep track of who remembered your birthday or who gave you a gift. Life is not reciprocal. It is literally a gift when it is, and it's an indicator of someone thinking of you, but you have to remember that it's not always someone else's love language to love you the way you love them, okay? And also, life gets busy. Like, we don't even know how many birthdays of people's that we love that we have totally forgotten, and that's okay. The permission comes when we give that to other people to also not remember ours. It's really okay if they didn't give you a gift. If it's their birthday and you feel like giving them a gift, that's called giving. That's called kindness. That's called loving. It's not called reciprocation. So you do it because you love them. And if it's not in your heart as something that you want to do, it's in your heart as obligation, then think about it. Maybe that's not what you should be doing. Like really allow yourself freedom around this. Don't measure your birthday by how many people remembered. Measure it by how you showed up to it, to how you fully showed up to it. Your birthday is literally not a test of who shows up. It's a celebration of the fact that you did, and that you do it over and over and over again, that you continue to show up in your life, and that you continue to create a life that you have a semblance of wanting to celebrate. How incredible and beautiful is that? So this gently takes us into this next tip that I think is really important. And that is to evaluate if there's anything around your birthday that you are holding on to that isn't serving you. Any sort of stigma or story, right? My birthdays always were terrible when I was younger, so they're terrible now. One bad thing happened on my birthday one year of my life, so all of my birthdays have to be bad. It's a reminder of the day that my spouse totally fails. Like, what? The important thing is for us to sit back and to look at the stories that we are telling ourselves. And if there is anything in your brain that you're holding to around your birthday that is not serving you, it is time to let it go. It's time to realize that you are dropping into negativity around it, and that your birthday can only feel like a negative exchange because of what you're holding. It's actually really phenomenal to recognize that and to see it. Because the moment that you see it, you get to let it go. And the moment that you let it go, you find freedom. And if you are asking me, hey Mish, I see it, but I don't know how to let it go, my challenge to you is try your best to forget about it and go do something that you enjoy. Because doing something that you enjoy will allow you to check into a higher vibration, and it will teach you how to shed the layers of things that you don't want, especially on your birthday, especially on a day that is your own holiday. It is your day that you get to celebrate however you want. Birthdays can teach us that your joy is your job. And when you live that way, others naturally join in that celebration. They naturally join in that energy. A birth date is literally a reminder to celebrate the life that you've been given and the person that you are still becoming. It's really incredible. And talking about the person that you're becoming, another little mindset tip I want to give you is that if you can switch how old you are to how many years you have, all of a sudden birthdays become about growing wiser and not aging. I mean, do you realize that this is comparing the English language to many other languages? They don't ask how old are you like we do. They say, I think Italian is quanto anni, how many years do you have? How many years do you have? How wise are you? What are you coming to the table with? I have women in my life that I love and adore. They are probably 20 years younger than me. And they say to me all the time things about, gosh, you're so wise and I can ask you lots of questions and so forth. I'm like, girlfriend, I've just lived a little longer. I've just been on the earth and I get to say how many years I have. You know what I mean? So it really is about who you're becoming. Age is simply the number of years the world has been enjoying you and truly who you've been able to become. Like, we really need to shift and honor our elders and love them for all that they can contribute. You know, I'm pretty sure I've shared on the podcast before that when my grandfather died, I was so aware of all of the wisdom that was also not accessible to me anymore, like easily. It wasn't easily accessible for me to ask my grandfather, who knew everything under the sun. Not really, but it felt like he just knew so much that I was like, my heart ached for also the wisdom that we were bidding adieu to. And so I think that is another way to look at our birthdays and as we are growing older, what is actually happening. And it's really okay, and it's really a beautiful thing. A birth date is a reminder to celebrate the life you've been given and the person that you are still becoming. You are incredible. You are growing and you are being and you are shedding parts of you that aren't helping you and serving you, even around your birthday. Even the thoughts that you have around your birthday and how you celebrate. Okay, and then one of the most important things that I think about your birthday is the feeling you have. I think that it is really important to check in with your own self, with your own heart. Gosh, my nephew was here with us last weekend and he was rolling some dice. We were playing this game called Tenzi. And at the beginning, on the first roll, you see how many, like the majority of numbers that you rolled that are the same. So if you rolled like 4 6s, then maybe you want to try to roll the rest 6s, right? And so I was teaching him, like, see what first immediately like speaks to you. And then pull those out, like the majority, and then keep rolling. And when he was retelling my mom, like how to do it or what he was doing, he would roll and he'd be like, I'm listening for what my heart is saying. It was so adorable. But that is what I really am asking you to do on your birthday, is to check into what your heart is saying and to really allow yourself to feel something. And there are a myriad of things that you can check into, right? You can check into the party and the fun. You can check into the warmth of the people that you cherish in your life. You can ponder the ways that you have grown in the past year or throughout your life, like what you have come to. It's really cool to simply sit back and go like, gosh, have I grown at all this year? Have I softened? Have I laughed really hard? Or have I let go of something? Like if you can say yes to those things, you've already done something worth celebrating. And so checking into that helps us check into so much and gratitude and growth. And it's a really beautiful thing. You can look back throughout your whole life, depending on how much time you have on your birthday, or AKA you're in your birthday week, right? And you can catalog your blessings, because if you celebrate the things in your life that you love, you get more of that, right? Tom Peters says, celebrate what you want to see more of. So those are some ideas of ways, like obviously if people are texting you on your birthday and telling you they love you and all of these beautiful things, like that's a wonderful thing, because they help you to feel something and they help you to feel appreciation for the people that you have in your life. But you do not need to wait around for someone to text you to feel that. You don't. You get to check into how much gratitude you have for the people that you have in your life, like how much you can appreciate them. And all of a sudden, your heart grows and you've checked into an incredible feeling on your birthday. And I literally think that that's the most important thing that you can do on your birthday, no matter where you are, no matter what's going on. no matter if you are at the mercy of someone else's plans. Or have you ever celebrated someone else's birthday on your birthday and no one knew it was your birthday? I have. Okay. And you can sit in yucky grossness around that, or you can be like, I am so happy for them that they are having an incredible life, and I'm happy for me too. And you can list the reasons why, right? You can let the people around know it's my birthday too. Or if you don't want to steal the thunder and you don't want to do that, that's okay. Like, that's an understandable thing. You know what I mean? But like, just use wisdom in the ways that you approach, and maybe find more freedom in the areas that feel, muddy around your birthday. Like, again, moving from expectation to appreciation, right? And have the confidence to know that celebrating even by yourself can bring the best of feelings. My friend George Meredith said, "Don't just count your years, make your years count." You're literally not getting older, you're getting more you. The years just help you peel off everything that you're not. Isn't that beautiful? So my friend, I hope that you can see that there is so much power, like that you literally have more power than you think you do when you approach celebrating you, celebrating your birthday, because it's yours. And when you celebrate like you mean it, even if it is a quiet year and you can just let love permeate your entire being, like, that's okay. And that's a good win. My friend, I hope you can see that you have more power than you think you do when you truly drop in to celebrating you on your birthday. All right, my friend, I hope you love this message. I hope it feels expansive for you and actually helps you shift anything in your life around your birthday that you can drop into to help you feel more expansive. If you love this episode, share it with someone. And you know what? Sharing this birthday to someone on their birthday and telling them like how much you love them on their birthday and how much you hope they feel those incredible warm feelings on your birthday, like, that's kind of a good thing. I'm just saying, like, mindset is a huge gift, right? It's incredible. All right. Now, if you have not subscribed to the podcast, then go ahead and do so that you don't miss future episodes. And if you haven't rated and reviewed the podcast, think of it like a birthday gift to me today. I would crazy appreciate you dropping in to do that so that it helps the podcast succeed. All right, my friend, I want to leave you with a quote from Verna Felton. She said, "Don't wait for someone to bring you flowers. Plant your own garden." Until next time.